The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Let's take a quick call. I'm speaking to Gabe DeBenedetti from Politico. Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't understand why people at Politico and on KBC Radio don't discuss the fact that Cruz is not being vetted. He's not a natural-born citizen, just like the first 8 presidents of the United States were not natural-born citizens. They had foreign parents, but they had a grandfather clause in Article 2. Cruz was born to a Cuban-born, Canadian naturalized father, and he's hanging his hat on the fact that his mother was born in the United States, but she became a Canadian citizen, and this is not being reported.
Gabe?
Well, Trump made a big case of this earlier in the campaign, and there have been legal challenges to it, but nothing has come up in any way that's seriously challenged Cruz's eligibility.
Ted Cruz has had FOIA requests, and he's hiding his information. All he's got is a Canadian birth certificate, and he's waving around his mother's American birth certificate.
So Gary,
prior to 1934, the immigration laws and naturalization laws of the United States said only the father could transmit his citizenship, his American citizenship, to the foreign-born child. The Constitution has not changed. Only the naturalization law has been liberalized. A natural-born citizen does not rely on a statute for citizenship. Ted Cruz is a fraud.
Based on your interpretation, but not the courts, right?
No, I have done research on this, doctor, and you hung up on me the last time. Ignorance is bliss.
It's not. I don't hang up on your point.
You did hang up on me the last time.
Oops, I hung up on you again. Because you tried to take over the show, and I'm sorry, but you don't get to do that. I'm happy to have a rational conversation with you, Gabe, and we'll let Gabe address it. And you hung up on me now, Gary. I was going to go back to you. Go ahead, Gabe. Whoops, I got hung up on Gabe too, evidently. Gabe, you still there?
No, I'm here.
There you go. So go ahead.
Well, it's a conversation that a lot of people have had, but there have been legal challenges to Cruz's eligibility to this body, and no one has seriously made the case that he's not eligible. So
I think Gary was interpreting the law in making his interpretation, right? And the courts just don't agree with that. Would that be accurate, or was he?
Sure, that may be, but that's the system is set up in a certain way.
I wish he hadn't hung up. Then we could continue this conversation, but
sure.
Can't have him just yelling at you, Gabe. Sorry about that. Gabe DeBenedetti, the Twitter handle is @GDeBenedetti. He's a news reporter for Politico. And what's coming up on Politico? What should we look forward to? We got the primary coming up. You guys making predictions?
I don't think I'm going to make any predictions, but I do think it's important to pay close attention to this primary. It could have very serious implications. A big win for Clinton or Trump could make it really difficult for other people to catch up to them.
And yet still the Trump thing is still, even in spite of that, yet to be decided in the convention. Right?
That's exactly right, yes.
Which is so fascinating. And then keep an eye for me on the Cruz's citizenship. If you find anything out, please let me know. I'm sure I don't, Gary's point is very weak because I'm certain if you found something about his citizenship, you would be the first to put it into Politico. It'd be quite a interesting and well, what should we say, trafficked report had you had something hard and fast to go with. Yes?
That's absolutely right. It certainly would be a very big deal if one of the presidential candidates turned out to be ineligible. But this has been something that we've looked into, and it will continue to be a question. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So Gary, they'll watch it for you. They are watching. The courts are watching. Gabe would like nothing more than to be the first to report it if it's a legitimate story. Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely right. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us. Gabe DeBenedetti. We'll look for your reporting tomorrow on Politico.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.